We're joined now by two of Miriam Carey's sisters, Valerie Carey and Amy Carey Jones, who are looking for answers in the death of their sister, and they're joined by their attorney, Mr. Sanders, Eric Sanders. Nice to have you all here. Thank you so much. A couple of days have passed. First of all, my condolences on the loss of your sister. It's been a few days. I'm sure you've asked yourselves 1,000 questions, trying to put this into perspective and figure out how it could have happened. Have you come up with any answers?
We have not come up with any answers yet because we still haven't been disclosed exactly what happened. We still haven't been properly notified, and we're just still trying to make sense of it. There is an investigation going on, but we still have a lot of questions.
You know, a lot of us have sat and seen footage of news breaking and tragedies occurring. But for you to see this footage now of what happened, realizing it was your sister in that car, can you explain what it's like?
It's horrific. It's horrible to actually get phone calls from reporters as opposed to being notified by police personnel and being asked to turn on your TV to see a car that your sister drives, and then to see your niece on the television and knowing that the person in the vehicle could only be your sister, because my niece would only be with my sister.
Let me ask you about her mental health over these last several weeks, months, and perhaps even years. Federal officials involved in this investigation have said that she, your sister, believes she was being monitored by the president and that her apartment was under surveillance. Does any of that sound familiar to you?
No,
not at all.
Those things don't sound correct, which is why we're speaking out for her, because that's not the Miriam that we knew.
Did she ever talk about the president in a way that raised your eyebrows or put up a red flag?
No, she didn't have any disputes with any political agenda. She never talked badly about President Obama. She was not walking around delusional, which is what we really want the public to understand. She was not delusional. She
did suffer from postpartum depression. Were you aware of her being under continuing treatment for that?
She was, which we spoke about that. She was under treatment, under doctor supervision, and she was being tapered off her medication.
She ended up in Washington, basically at the White House, went 80 miles an hour down Pennsylvania Avenue, was surrounded by police, as you've seen, with their guns drawn, did not stop, struck a police officer, and led them on a chase. I know you have a lot of questions about the use of deadly force, but would you concede that it was your sister who determined the outcome in some ways?
No, not at all.
No.
What I do see is that perhaps maybe my sister was a little afraid being surrounded by officers with their guns drawn. If in fact she wasn't supposed to be in a restricted area, how was she allowed to drive in that area? If you hear gunshots, it's like, I'm afraid, I don't want to be here, I want to get out of here, I have a baby in a car. My sister was fleeing. She was trying to figure out how to get out of there.
Even with the specter of terrorism that we all live under right now, in a sensitive location like the White House or the Capitol, you think the police perhaps did not do what they needed to do to ensure your sister wasn't trying to bring harm on a large scale?
I feel that things could have been handled a lot differently, and maybe there was some bit of overreaction or some negligence. We don't know. We're still trying to find out, but we just still feel that there was maybe another story than what we're being told.
I just want to inject this one thing, and kind of use the stories about the sisters, but that's part of what the problem is. We have this siege mentality. We think because of terrorism, we're all afraid of each other now. That doesn't excuse the police behavior. The police have very specific protocols, as in all major cities, and I'm sure it's the same in Washington, D.C., and the fact that someone may be a threat, there are certain protocols you're supposed to follow before you use deadly force.
Can I just ask quickly about her daughter? 19 months old, I believe.
No, she's not 19 months.
No, how old is she?
She's 13 months.
13 months. How is she doing? Where is she?
We know that she's safe, and we're confident that she's okay, and we'll continually be in touch with her.
Ladies, again, my condolences. I really appreciate you talking to us, and we'll follow the developments in this story. Mr. Sanders, thank you very much as well.